In this video, I wanted to do a quick review of this Milwaukee Rover rechargeable light. It's 550 lumens and it recharges with the USB cable. Here it is here. And so it's got a little kind of a built-in stand. And also got a little hook for your belt. And it also has these magnetic clips. The aluminum here isn't magnetic, so it does stick really well. So specifically for this video, what I want to review is whether or not it's good for when sanding drywall, when doing your final checkout. So as most of you are aware, when sanding drywall, at the end, you're going to come around with a sponge sander and you're going to want to be going around and you're just going to be wanting to check for imperfections and that sort of thing. So in the industry, we call that just the hand sanding or the checkout. And the other thing is you're going to be holding a light in your other hand, and that would just throw contrast against the wall and it reveals all the little imperfections. One of the problems with carrying a light around is it's just a lot to drag around a cord, and if you're working on stilts, it's always a tripping hazard. You can get your feet tangled into this. And another thing is, if your job is just to do some patchwork inside someone's house, inside someone's living space, you don't really want to be dragging around a construction cord, you know, through their kitchen and whatnot. So for all those reasons and others, I always had my eye out. I wanted to find a small rechargeable LED light for sanding drywall. So I've seen those, the 18 volt and the 12 volt type torch lights, and they're okay, but one, you're carrying around a lot of weight with like an 18 volt battery, and two, the light that they're putting out is like a really high spectrum, like a very bright white light that kind of does more harm than good when trying to see imperfections against drywall, because it's just such a bright light that it just blinds the wall, and it's also hard on the eyes. So they advertise this as True View, high definition True View, which simulates just really natural light. And so that's why I picked this up. And so the other thing I can tell you about this is that it'll run 2 hours on 550 lumens. It'll run 4.5 hours on 250 lumens. And on 100 lumens, it'll run 11.5 hours. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how it looks when sanding. All right, so let's check it out. So this is what you would see. Well, the camera doesn't quite show like what I'm seeing, but this is pretty good. Like I can see any little imperfections. In a darker room, it really lights it up. Almost too good, starting to make my work look bad. So you can see, if you're in a dimly lit room, this would really light it up. You'd see every little tiny nick or scratch or any imperfection at all. You wouldn't miss it. It's just as good as any other light. In fact, I would, in a darker room, I'd probably drop it from the 550 to the 250. So now we'd have 4.5 hours of runtime. And actually this is still plenty bright. So I could drop it down to the 100 lumens. And now under this light, it's still plenty enough light that I could see all the imperfections. But now I would have a runtime of 11.5 hours. And all on no cord or anything. So I'm pretty happy with this purchase. And I'm thinking of actually buying a second one. That way I could have one on the charger and one on the go. And then just swap them out. Okay, so I'll put this back to 550. There. So you can see that really bright. Okay, so the one bad thing I could say about it is if you were somewhere that's like really bright, like where the sunlight's really coming in. I don't really, sun's going down on me. So, like for example, just on this windowsill, say, pretend this is drywall. See, it's not bright enough to really have that effect, have any contrast effect. So if you were to have direct sunlight on the wall, your light just doesn't have the power to really to show much because it's just too much light on the wall. And then I call that where the wall's just blinded by light and you can't really see anything. And sometimes when I'm sanding, I'll actually just, if the sunlight is directly coming onto a wall, I'll actually just skip that area when I'm doing my checkout and I'll sand other places and just remember that spot. And then when the sun changes direction, then I'll come check it out later on. Yeah, so that's about what I could say about this light. I'm always buying things and then they don't turn out to work for me. So I just have so many tools that are just laying around completely useless to me. So this is one of the tools that I could say that's actually a good purchase. So if you were thinking that you wanted to buy a small battery powered light for sanding drywall or just multi-use, like I've just been using this when I'm just as a flashlight, just as loading my tools up at night and early in the morning and that sort of thing. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, I'm gonna make a lot more videos just reviewing little tools and little how-tos and any tips and tricks I've picked up that I think might be helpful for other people. Okay, thanks for watching.